You can hear them playing their music, all their marching music. See them spilling out on the road over there. Here's the last unit. And if you look at it from above, these armies marching, there's so many men, it looks like a snake. Army snaking down the road. Now, if we really needed to get our men to a location quickly, and knowing full well that having our men there is more important than having our men having our men's fatigue low, then we can order our men to double quick, and they will run to that location. You can see the tails, they're wagging their tail. Alright. But we don't want our men to get too tired. One of the problems with using that command is you're going to have to reissue the command. After you order them to stop running. So I would definitely not use that very often. Just get used to the slow pace of the game. The action is worth the wait. Maneuver and getting your units in line and putting them against the enemy is well worth it. This game is great for that. Okay. So I'm sure after this they're gonna give us another order here. I don't remember what it is, but we'll find out shortly. Now, this game isn't Empire, Total War, or anything like that series. It's more historical based. It's more of a historical sim game. Empire, Total War, although it can be looked at as historical, it doesn't. That's not its main focus when they made the game. Was to be all about historical battles. This game is, however, casualties are more realistic. That's for certain. At the end of a battle, you're not going to have like an entire army vanquished. What are these guys doing? Okay. Let's we'll just order them to move up to column. Get all the units up here. At the double quick. At the double quick. Moving woods, part 1. Woods or other rough terrain presents two problems. The first is that motion is slower than in open fields. The second is that visibility may be restricted. If you are confident that no enemy units are near, then moving in column formation will be fastest. If there are possible enemy units, using the skirmish formation while being slower will make rude surprises much less likely. Keep your casualties down as well. Move your brigade to the objective off to your northeast. When you arrive, face the brigade to the east and hit the skirmish button. Use the right wheel or left wheel buttons as needed to adjust the facing of the brigade so that the destination for the regiment deployed as skirmishers is about on the stone outcropping in the middle of the field. So let's go find out that. Alright. So here's the map. Here's Gettysburg. Alright. So we're going to have our unit form here. Skirmishers will be out in the stone outcropping over there. Okay? They're going to have to travel down through this ravine a little bit. The ditch. But they should be okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you select your commander. Place our commander here. We'll wheel him right, like so. And we'll hit the skirmish formation button. So as you can see, our skirmishers will form out in a line across the field like that. All of the other regiments will form up in line, as we had practiced before, and they'll move to their destination as quickly as possible. Like so. We'll speed up time. Now, having a unit like our size in a position like this on a field of battle, us being able to perform a maneuver like this could mean victory or defeat for the rest of our army. Not being able to perform a maneuver like this is going to get all your men killed. Moving in the woods, part 2. First, allow your troops to get into their formation. Now we'll use the keyboard command to move the entire formation in the direction it's currently facing. We'd hit the 6 key on our number pad in order to do this. And the entire formation will move, will advance 300 yards forward by hitting the 6 key. And then we'll continue to repeat as needed until the entire formation has moved through the woods along the ridge and is facing the town. And there we'll adjust our position to trigger the final objective for this tutorial. Excellent. Alright, so we'll wait for our guys to get information. So we will want our men facing in this line, a line of skirmishers here, all the way up to the front. Our commander will be there. And we'll just inch our way through the woods with our skirmish line in front and our battle line arrayed in the rear, all the way to the objective. Now another thing is, you do want to have a sense, a feel for the time it takes your unit to move into position. To practice, you need to practice these maneuvers, because if you give a command for your men to form a position like this, and you don't have the time to do it, because enemy formation is already moving on and attacking you, then giving them a costly command like this could mean that your units are well out of formation, strewn across the battlefield, and not ready for combat. And you can lose a battle easily that way as well. You'll get hard pressed. So you need to know how fast your men can perform maneuvers like this. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit the 6 key. And now everybody will move 300 yards forward. This is 300 yards. From this point here to there. Pretty much. Okay? So these units will move in column formation up until this point and then move back in the line formation. The skirmishers will continue moving forward. And we'll also have them wheel a couple clicks. We want to line up this right here. There we go. And then give them the command again. Just we want our general where the objective is by the time we reach that location. All right, excellent. See the 147th's already moving back into line. Let's look at our skirmishers here moving through the forest. And that skirmish line, if they were to engage in enemy units, they would give us more than enough time to move back into our line formation from column. Alright, let's move them another 300 yards. Let's see here. So this unit's going to move all the way up over here. If we wanted them to, we can take direct command of them, just like we are right now, and have them move along the length of the fence instead, which is what I would end up doing. So that when they ended their march, they would have a defensive advantage of using the fence. And that's how you would move your units forward. Just kind of hop and skip them forward. Okay, so let's go back to us. Let's just give them a final command in skirmish formation, like so, and everybody will move and into their final positions. Alright. See how long it'll take them to travel through the woods. You get a fair amount of protection. Artillery fire is a little bit less effective, but it's still very lethal. As you can imagine, artillery shells screaming through a wooded forest, snapping tree limbs and sending splinters of bark and branches all over the place wound people just as effectively as shrapnel would. Or fragmentation rounds. So but they would only know to fire on you if they knew that there was actually formations in those woods. So undoubtedly nobody would be able to see our formations from the enemy's point of view until they reach the outskirts of the woods. So we'll just speed it up here. Alright, finishing up. We're almost done, guys. This is the end of the first tutorial. You're encouraged to repeat this tutorial as often as you like and to practice the various moves and formations until you're comfortable moving your troops. I think we are. When you guys pick up this game, if you guys do decide to pick up this game, I would recommend doing this tutorial at least a couple times until you're familiar with all the maneuvers and you can perform them without any error. Okay? Practice here is free. The lessons will be more expensive in troops when the bullets start flying, and that's absolutely true. At the end of every battle, you'll be given a screen like this, basically showing casualties on each side. You can go into the battle details here. You can return back to the battle, the screen we're just at, or you can exit the battle. You click on battle details, it's going to break down the score for each individual unit, and that is based off of either getting kills, receiving casualties themselves, forcing a unit to retreat or break, or retreating or breaking themselves. Okay, you can click here. You will be able to see their status, whether they're moving or not, resting or not, their morale, their fatigue, what terrain they're on, the enemy casualties they've caused, their casualties, and killed, wounded, and missing in action. It'll also detail each regiment that they engaged, and then it'll show you the units that are their peer units, which will be units in the same division. If you're looking at a division hierarchy, if you're looking at an army hierarchy, then it's going to list their peer units as divisions instead of individual brigades. Up here is something important to note. You'll get to see the experience of your units, whether they're raw recruits or they're seasoned veterans. You'll get to see their combat ability in certain situations. Close order, open order, edged weapons, the bayonet, firearms, how effectively they're able to fire, marksmanship, this is actually how effectively they're able to load, marksmanship, how effective they are to put their shots on target, horsemanship, these aren't cavalrymen, so it doesn't matter, and their surgeon ability. Okay, so you don't have a good surgeon in the unit, a lot of those wounded are going to become killed. So, and each one of these units is going to carry on to the next battle. So that's important. Okay, so however we do in each of our campaigns is going to correlate into the next battle that we have. So a man lost is a man lost until the end of the game, which is the end of the Battle of Gettysburg. Alright guys, I'm Riot House. This has been our very first tutorial for Gettysburg, Scourge of War. Thank you for joining me, and please join me in the next episode. We'll be doing another tutorial using more units, and let's see here. Brigade combat. So we'll be having a little bit of combat in this tutorial coming up, and that'll be more fun, and we'll get to practice these brigade and regiment maneuvers that we just learned. Alright guys, Riot House signing out.